What's up YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, I created the Pokemon Legends Z-A Regional Dex. Now, this regional dex I made is using all the information that we currently know from the first trailer and some educated guesses and a little bit of hopes and dreams sprinkled onto that. And of course, guys, if you like my type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. And support the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. So the first thing I do want to start off with is my template for this dex. And my template for this dex is, of course, going to be starting with Legends Arceus. So Pokemon Legends Arceus was a Gen 4 centric dex. It contained every single Pokemon from Generation 4, and then it had some Pokemon from previous gens. But for the most part, it didn't contain barely any Pokemon that came after Generation 4. Only a couple of exceptions in that, like the Genies being them, Rowlet, Sylveon. But it included every legendary and mythical from Generation 4 there as well, to keep that in mind. Of course, they added some new forms as well. But this is what we're looking at for our consideration. So we wanted to make for Pokemon Legends Z-A a Generation 6 focused dex, having most Pokemon from Generations 1 to Generation 6, and including legendaries and mythicals from that generation. And of course, this game will be featuring Mega Evolutions, so we want to include as many Megas as possible. Now, something that we know for sure, and I went through the trailer and counted all the Pokemon, we know for a fact that there is a total of 60 Pokemon confirmed for Legends Z-A. Now, most of these Pokemon are already going to be Pokemon that are from the Kalos Dex, and I already assumed all of the Kalos Dex Pokemon will be included, but these are the ones that we actually saw for sure. And there's a good amount of Gen 1 Pokemon. Some of my lines that I really like is the Bellsprout line. That's pretty cool. Staryu's there. Really like Pinsir. Also, Heracross is there. Love that Dragonite is there too, considering we could get a Mega Dragonite, and that would be really awesome. Other important things to put out there is we do see Steelix. So Steelix does get a Mega in Oris. So that means the Oris Megas could also be included into this dex too, which would be really sweet. So it's pretty solid so far. A couple like good Pokemon, couple bad Pokemon. Like Ariados is not a good Pokemon, but I like his design, so I'm glad that is there. These are all the Pokemon that are new to the Kalos Dex, so I assume every single one of these are going to be making it. So we will be getting the starters as we did in Pokemon Legends Arceus. We got all the Gen 4 starters. I assume we'll get getting all the Gen 6 starters. Maybe they'll get Mega Evolutions as well. And of course, this is going to include Diancie, Hoopa, Volcanion, which is really nice. We're getting our fossils in here. And of course, the Pancham and Pangoro will be here. So I'm personally very excited. And Aegislash is here too. Now, how do we build out the Megas? I'm going to assume all the Megas that were in Pokemon X and Y will be in this as well. So that's going to include Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, Alakazam, Gengar, Kangaskhan, Pinsir, Gyarados, as we already saw, was confirmed, and same with the Pinsir. Aerodactyl, Mewtwo, Ampharos, Scizor, Heracross already confirmed. Houndoom, Tyranitar, Blaziken, Gardevoir, Mawile, Aggron, Medicham, Manectric, Baitnet, Absol, Garchomp, Lucario, and Abomasnow. So that is a lot of Pokemon lines that get confirmed, assuming that we are getting all the original Megas from Pokemon X and Y in Pokemon Legends Z-A. And honestly, I think this is great. This adds a lot of great diversity and a lot of fan favorite strong Pokemon. Personally, I do love the Kanto starter, so that is really sick. Of course, seeing Scizor here is another phenomenal Pokemon. Garchomp as well. Now, when we look at the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Megas, this is going to give us a lot more diversity. And of course, more starters get added with Sceptile and Swampert being included in that. And as I mentioned before, Steelix is confirmed, so we pretty much know its Mega will be confirmed, knowing that Megas are confirmed in the game already. The only things I would actually rule out from this is I don't think we're going to be getting any of the Gen 3 legendaries. Don't think Latios, Latios, Kyogre, or Groudon, or Rayquaza will be making it into ZA, considering that we're really only going to be focusing on the Gen 6 ones. There is a chance that we could be getting those in there, but I think what's locked in for sure will be the XYZ trio, and also getting like Diancie and Volcanion in there too. Now, continuing on, there are a few Pokemon that have not made it on to the Nintendo Switch yet. Assuming Pokemon Legends Z-A is the last mainline game to go onto the Nintendo Switch, I assume that these Pokemon will be coming. So we'll be getting the Watchog line, we will be getting the Furfrou line in all its different forms, and we'll be getting the Elemental Monkeys. Now, Spinda is included here because Spinda was not home transferable in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl due to a bug. So I do think they might try to fix Spinda. That's like 50-50. They might not care because it was already in a game, but all these other Pokemon were not in a Pokemon game and are definitely in home jail still. And now to figure out the starters. So I do think the starters is gonna be this theory that it's gonna be Torchic, Snivy, and Piplup. Now, they're all paired up with the starters from Pokemon Legends Arceus in the Indigo Dish trailer. And all these Pokemon are very French themed. The rooster is the animal of France, the national animal. Superior already is covered in French design. And Empoleon is literally Napoleon. So I think those Pokemon have a chance of being the starters. It would make a lot of sense. And it's definitely not this running theory that Joe Merrick of Cerebi nipped in the butt, which I personally did not even report on because I thought it was super fake. Some people were thinking that it was going to be the Turtwig, Totodile, and Litten. It's just not. Those are just starters that were put on the box art because they were featured in Temporal Forces. So wouldn't put anything onto that in general. Now, more speculation, and this is more of the wishing part. So, Generation 1 is obviously the generation that Pokemon and Game Freak and Pokemon Company always cater to. Now, these are the Pokemon from Generation 1 that have not been touched. They have not been updated since, the beginning, since they came out in any way, shape, or form, whether they had another form or any like stat buffs or anything like that, or a Mega. So, out of these Pokemon, we know Ekans is already in it because we saw Ekans, and we also saw Bellsprout, and we also saw Staryu confirmed, and we also saw Dratini. So these Pokemon already have a high chance of getting something. But from this personal list of Pokemon, the Pokemon I really think that might be getting something in terms of a new form, maybe a new Mega, or maybe even just a stat buff in Pokemon Legends Z-A. I think the Nidorans, Nidoqueen, and Nidoking are 100% going to be getting something. I think it's time for Venomoth to get something, and I think it's time for Seal to really get something. And honestly, Cloyster could really get a Mega here. Considering that Mega Slowbro could be in the game, it would be cool to see a Mega Cloyster occur and how that could react to something like a Mega Slowbro. So I think that would be really interesting if those were included in the PLZA deck. Now, if you're counting along, we're over 200 Pokemon, but we're trying to hit about 250 for our PLZ decks. We got to look at the X and Y Pokedex, which is actually pretty massive. It has a central, a coastal, and then a mountain variant to it. This is a huge dex, and there's a lot of different options. So I filled out the rest of the decks to hit that magic number of 250 with Pokemon that were already featured in X and Y. And with that, we have a total of 251 Pokemon for our decks. And I think this is going to be pretty solid. So everything that already has a Mega, like the Kanto starters, Beedrill, and Pidgeot, going to be in the game. And of course, we included everything we already saw from the trailers. Now, the spicy dream Pokemon I threw into this list is like the Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Venomoth lines. That would be really sick to see them. I think Magnemite, Magneton, Magnezone make a lot of sense because, we're rebuilding a city. That's part of the story. Dugong and Cloyster also deserve to get something. I think the Rhyperior line 100% would make sense on rebuilding the city. It's like a brick house, so you're like rebuilding. Makes a lot of sense. Seaking hasn't seen anything for a long time. Should probably get some sort of buff, maybe even a Mega. I think Jinx is just a fun Pokemon to include, and I just really threw it in there. Hasn't been in the game since Sword and Shield, so why not? Let's just put that right in there. And of course, with Mega Slowbro could be coming in because, we did see Mega Steelix, so that confirms Aurus Megas can be allowed in. Slowking comes in, which means could get us Mega Slowking, which would be pretty sick overall. Now, continuing on through our Generation 3, I threw in the Roselia line because It feels like, you know, roses go well with the French theme. So I think the rose raid and line would be, you know, something that fits pretty well. It is also in the X and Y decks too. I really want to see myself Mega Flygon just to exist. That's just hopes and dreams. And yes, we forgot to put in Trapinch, but that's okay. Glalie, you know, has a Mega, so he'll definitely be in. So maybe Mega Frostlass could be something that exists. Of course, Empoleon is my water starter that I think will be included into the game here. And then I think something that was really cool is Conch Elder being added, because we are rebuilding a city, creating the city of, you know, main city of Kalos here. So Conch Elder is the perfect construction Pokemon. We got all of our Pokemon Home rejects out here with the monkeys and Watchog. Superior being my grass starter for this Gen 2. I also threw in Chandelier line because it's just a really cool Pokemon, and it is in the Kalos decks originally for X and Y. Bouffalant, I just think we should have a cow. That's just really my reason. And then with that, I just included every single Pokemon from regular Kalos decks here. And then including the legendaries and mythicals with Deancey, Hoopa, and Volcanion, wrapping it up. So there you have it. This is the Pokemon Legends Z-A Dex. I actually wouldn't be too surprised if this is really close to what we get here, assuming the dex will be around 250 Pokemon. And, you know, this is on the Pokemon Dex tracker, so you could look up my username and check it out yourself on PokemonDexTracker.com. But of course, guys, let me know in the comment section below what Pokemon you want to see included in Pokemon Legends ZA. I want to hear what Pokemon you want to see in Megas, if you agree or disagree with my list. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good one. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.